source. And one thing I'm really excited to share with everyone is that we've actually been out and we've recorded and added over 320 brand new car recordings to our existing library, which means that we've got an absolutely phenomenal amount of source to make the cars sound as best they possibly can. So the cars in Horizon 5 are going to sound legit. The old method was essentially a looping method, which would take a car and we'd put it in a garage on a dyno and get it to play back at, like, say 1000 RPM, 2000 RPM, 3000 RPM, and it was a computer that was doing that. So it was a fairly simulated environment. With our new granular synthesis techniques, we actually take the recordings that we get out on track, having driven up to the red line, back down again, we chop each of the individual engine rotations up into a tiny little sample, and we end up with thousands of little audio files that we can play back in the game. And the benefit of granular is that it runs at 90 frames per second, which it obviously clocks faster than our game actually runs.
Okay.
You really hear that rasp coming through that we heard out on track. This one, I think, translated really well into the game. Trying to be as accurate and sort of, I guess, trying to portray real life as much as we possibly can, whilst making it fun for all the players to listen to. We're in the player house in the normal upgrade flow, and you can go to your intake, and here, as you apply the different stock, street, race and sport performance modes, you can hear that actually change the sound of your car. So you can do it with your exhaust as well, depending on the upgrade paths per car. You'll be able to hear your exhaust note change. And it's important to point out that this doesn't actually it doesn't change the volume of the car, because then it would unsettle the mix. What it does is it actually changes the character of the car. So it sounds completely different, and it gives you that feeling of actually taking off a complete exhaust and replacing it with an entirely different manufactured part. And we're using ray tracing to detect walls, ceilings, buildings, which means that you'll hear your car bouncing off of all the buildings around you, and that'll change with the environment. It's really cool. As soon as we turned it on, it just, like, it grounded you in reality. It made the world feel really alive.
Hello, Forza fans, and welcome to another episode of Forza Horizon 5 Let's Go live with Playground Games. Today is the first of two very special episodes where we're going to be exploring the vibrant biomes of Mexico, and to guide us through the jungles, swamps, and volcano of Forza Horizon 5 are Mike Brown and Connor Cross. Guys, it's wonderful to have you here. How are you doing today?
Hey Charlie, great to be here. Super excited for this show. We've got so much awesome stuff to show.
Yep, great to see you again, Charlie. Yeah, we've got some great biomes to show off. Should we jump straight in? Should we go for it?
I think we should do it. I think there is going to be another individual in the room that we should secretly say hello to, because whilst he can't say hi back, he's arguably the most important man in the room. Who's that?
So yes, we have Andy Baranowski with us. He isn't mic'd up, so you won't hear his voice, but you'll see all of his awesome driving action. I promise on a future stream, we will allow you to hear Andy's wonderful voice.
Wonderful. Right. Well, before we do dig into the biomes and the gameplay, let's have a look at the schedule to see what we will be looking at today. So first up, we'll be taking an in-depth look at 3 of the new biomes of Mexico before taking a look at that brand new gameplay we told you about of an actual race in Forza Horizon 5. And then we're going to close out the show with another classic round of Q&A. So post your questions in chat, and towards the end of the stream, I will point it over to the guys in the studio. So I guess, really, without any further ado, should we just dive into what the people want to see? Which biome are we looking at first?
I'm actually going to start with a caveat that, yes, we are looking at a developer build, so you may spot a few bugs, some broken things. Hopefully the game doesn't crash on us, but yeah.
Let's have fun with them.
So we're actually in the swamp right now. The swamp is on the bottom east of the map, the southern eastern side. It connects our jungle to the ocean, which is connected to our tropical coast, and with that comes all these amazing, sapphire emeraldy blue waterways that you get, and all these, epic mangrove rooty trees. It gives you an absolute ton of different gameplay of, do you want to take the waterway, or do you want to take the roads? There's even some really cool wooden walkways that we actually found in reference that are like touristy spots that obviously our team took and turned them into cool routes to drive a car on.
Yeah, it's an incredible space. In terms of gameplay, we've never had a place like this before. There's so much water. It's so wet. It really makes for some really interesting vehicle choices, depending on which mode you're playing. And I think especially in Eliminator, you need to make sure you've picked the exact right car for this one, or you could get really caught out because a car with a high ride height can just power through all of this water. All the water is drivable in all of the cars. There's no bits where you'll get completely blocked or reset.
So me trying to go through with like a little three-wheeler ain't going to get me stuck or anything.
that is exactly right, Charlie. You want to have nice high ride height, and you be able to plow straight through all this and beat everybody in Eliminator.
Perfect. That's the dream. So I have to ask then, why did you choose the biome? Is there any specific reasons why you wanted to either include swamp or maybe even show it off first today?
It was, as Mike said, it's something we've never shown before, and we really wanted to celebrate something that is a first, and we think it looks fairly good. It's got all those really rich blue sort of streams and rivers that go through it, and all the smashable, as Andy just drove into some of them, mangrove routes as well. But as I said, it does connect our tropical coast into the jungle. So if you are coming off of that, you'll have to career your way through all of these winding little rivers or roads to get onto that as well.
Yeah, we saw a little bit there as Andy drove through it, and we will see it again in just a second. I think the water in here is just so beautiful. The colour of it just feels so tropical and gorgeous.
We noticed when we looked at lots of reference, there are obviously tons of different colours of water as you get different sediment, and this being a Horizon game, we really wanted to celebrate the beauty, and make it feel like a swamp you really want to go to.
Which is
I've always wanted to go to a swamp, and I was wondering if there's an ogre in this one, but if not, I suppose it'd be fine. Is there anything else around in the swamp that players can expect?
Yes, we've got little settlements. There's little rural farmlands sort of connecting it up, to break up some of that water. So there's lots of interest. I think there's even some wild dogs floating around, or not floating, running around. But I think we're actually going to start driving into the jungle now as well.
Oh, perfect. So we're going to connect straight into the next biome, are we?
Yes. Yeah. So, I think Andy's found a dog he wants to harass.
Is it floating?
leave him alone, Andy. Don't be mean to the dog.
So one of the cool things about the jungle is that it's all over the map. We've actually got different types of atmosphere, and the way the fog behaves, I guess, because the jungle's really humid. It's there's lots of foliage. You get all those really cool light, like God rays coming through, shafts of light come through. So as you go down to this biome, it's almost completely different to another area of the world, even though it could be the same time of day, because the atmosphere is so much more dense and humid. And it makes for these really cool gameplay moments of, punching through to this really mysterious bit of the game, and then straight out into a farmlandy bit. So it's a moment of calm as you drive through, and then back into the cool jungle bit as well.
Yeah, and in some areas of the jungle, just the absolute density of all of that foliage, it really starts to feel almost claustrophobic and enclosed.
It's a bit muggy, doesn't it?
Bushes around. Yeah, I think when Don mentioned earlier that you should bring your bug spray, I think this is what he was thinking of.
I have to ask, because was there any particular forestry or jungle in Mexico that inspired the basis of the one in Forza Horizon 5?
This is a really good question, actually. So with every place, we look at an absolute ton of reference. We really try to be as honest and recreate it as well as we can. And there's only so many things you can fit, or the time you've got to fit it in the game. So we try to really capture the nuances of what really does make this thing feel like it does in real life. And we did that with the jungle, and we were kind of it looks okay. What's missing? And one of the teams said, hey, have you watched Predator? The classic Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, because that was actually filmed in a jungle in Mexico. So we watched it and realised, hey, there's this bush that's everywhere. So one of the plants that you can see in the game, we've aptly named the Predator bush. And we put it in, and we went, oh yeah, it looks kind of cool now.
I love that. Wonderful. I will interject here and say we're driving through a temple now.
Yes, Andy has discovered something. While we were still talking about Predator Bush, Andy has snuck ahead and headed into Ekbalam, which is this incredible temple site, which is based on the real-life location of Ekbalam, which looks kind of like this. It is just this ancient temple site just jutting out of the Mexican jungle. It's just so full of mystery and intrigue and history and culture. Yes, it's an incredible place to go and explore.
It really is just so cool being able to come out of the thick jungle and just see all these amazing temples. We've got a few scattered around. We won't touch them just yet. We'll surprise you with some more later on.
It does allow you to get really up close to those ancient architecture though, and really soak it up and really feel like you're really there. Really a nice bit of virtual tourism. And
the team did a really good job at sort of recreating all those materials and stone work that went into all those temples that are, they're really old. So they've done a really good job at making something
really old.
In a game look old. Yeah.
They are old. Yeah. I love what you can see here as well. Just the ground surface, just the level of detail in just kind of the muddy surface there with all the bits of twigs and leaves and stuff. Just looks real.
It really does. I mean, chat, you speak for yourself a little bit, but we will be taking more questions in the Q&A later. But I, for one, will speak on behalf of all of you and say, wow, this does look absolutely incredible. Even looking here, like the fog in the distance, it just looks so like tangible and visceral, if you get what I mean.
Yeah, hats off to our incredible lighting team for really nailing that humid look. And as we were talking earlier, the god rays as you go through, it's just so glorious going through little tree tunnels and then just hit with shafts of light. It's really immersive.
Should we go and look at something else?
Let's duck away.
Let's move on. Let's
through the magic of the Series X, we will quickly teleport.
And what are we going to be going to next? What are we going to be quick resuming and speed loading into now?
We are going to the Gran Caldera volcano. This is the largest geological feature we've ever done in a Horizon game, and it comes with some great features of you can see everything from the volcano. Wow. You can look at the whole map. When we get to the top, we'll have a look. It features the two largest switchbacks we've ever done as well. So the one we're on now, and Andy's about to do a drift zone. Good luck. Is the asphalt one, and on the other side is the dirt one.
Yeah, the dirt route especially, it gives us one of the most amazing downhill rally trails we've ever had. It's amazing.
You can probably glimpse it when it catches the sunlight, but just how much more detail we put into the road these times round. There's lots of cracks. As you actually get to the top of the volcano, the road actually deteriorates quite a bit. It turns to a cobblestone road right at the top because, we've actually found that in reference as well that maybe they didn't want to tarmac all the way. So we tried to recreate that. But yeah, there's all these potholes and everything. It just makes for such an interesting drive because there's a lot of switchback.
And what sort of gameplay are players going to get up on the volcano? I mean, throughout the seasons as well. Are seasons going to affect what we see up there?
That is a perfectly timed question, Charlie. So if we just take a look at if we take a look at that rock face in front of us and we hold that in your mind, and then if we dip the feed ever so slightly so that we can do a little bit of magic.
And through the magic of time, we have skipped forward a couple of weeks.
Yeah, two weeks have actually passed.
We have gone from summer to winter. As we've mentioned before, we've got localized weather this time round. So if it's raining on the volcano and you drive all the way up, it'll actually turn to snow, which is really fun actually, because again, it really adds to that immersion of making you feel like you're really there.
Yeah. As we say as we come up here as well, the snow just gets a little bit deeper, a little bit heavier as you come up the side of the volcano. It's as you say, it's a really great seasonal experience, and it's one where you just get a different experience each season as you come and revisit these same biomes.
Just constantly keep changing the gameplay up as you go through it. It's quite cool how much this one biome, the volcano itself, changes over one season as well.
I mean, it sounds like a pretty significant biome in the sense that, I mean, please correct me if I'm wrong here, I'm probably fishing, but it's a biome that's going to be visible from almost all areas of the map as well, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, we'll have a look in one of the races, which is actually it's quite far actually from the volcano, but yeah, you can always see it looming in the background.
It's actually a really great feature for an open world game like this to just help orientate yourself when you're just basically wherever you are on the map. You can kind of spin the camera and go, volcano, and you can kind of work out where you are and get your bearings using it as a
it also just helps you, if you're just unsure of maybe what season am I in, just look at the volcano and the amount of snow will tell you.
Up there. I also love that Andy is fully doing my style of driving now, which is I need to go left, so I'm just going to go through whatever I need to do go left.
And yeah, this is the caldera of the volcano, which is in other seasons a tiny little pool of water, which is quite cool to slide around or smash through, and then when winter it freezes over, as you'd expect. Should we duck away again and change season?
Yeah. Speaking of other seasons, should we do that?
Yeah.
Again?
Let's have a look at spring.
Okay, we're going to spring. What's special about spring then? How come we're hop in there?
For the sake of time, let's go to summer. Let's go to summer.
Summer, my apologies.
So spring is as good as summer. It's just there's a bit more snow. But yeah.
That particular magic spell wasn't immediately to hand.
Yeah. Again, this has got all the rocks we see here are all captured via photogrammetry, as is a lot of the plant work. There's all this awesome marram grass that was all, hundreds of thousands of photos were taken to try and accurately represent that. In fact, so are the textures. Also, all the surface you drive on has been pretty much recreated from photos of the exact place.
Yeah. There's a cool little volcano research center over here as well that you will have to visit.
What that was actually.
Yeah, you have to visit there and do some research at one point in the game.
You do. There's a rather impressive satellite on the other side that we're not going to go around to because it is a developer build, and I'm terrified.
It was purple recently.
Yeah,
it's not supposed to be purple.
It was purple. Should we jump off the side of the volcano, Andy?
This sounds like the first thing I think many people in chat would like to do. I mean, many of them have been asking if you can drive through some of the billboards, but maybe we'll save that for another time, folks. Let's hurl ourselves off a volcano instead.
Yeah.
Andy. So, as Connor said, the views from up here are absolutely spectacular.
Yeah.
You can't see the whole map in one frame because the volcano is kind of in the middle of the map, but as you drive around it, you can see it's all around you. It's just like this. Looks incredible.
What?
And now we're going to cruelly steal away.
Oh, stop it. That's just cruel. That looked absolutely incredible. And all of these biomes we're going to start talking about from today onwards. But starting tomorrow, you'll be seeing for coverage for all of the biomes on the Forza social channels. So if you are not already, please go follow Forza Horizon Official on Instagram to follow along and keep up with all the latest Forza Horizon 5 news, announcements, and more. But now, because I know chat is already very angry we've cut away from gameplay, let's cut back to some more. But this time, it's race gameplay, which is the big leagues, isn't it, boys?
That's right. It's incredible, really. Given this is the fourth Let's Go show, there's been a couple of Forza monthlies. We did E3. It's a Forza game, and we've yet to show any races whatsoever. So I think people probably want to see that. I think that's something people have been clamoring for. So let's take a look.
So no pressure, Andy.
So what race are we looking at here? What details can you share today?
So this is the Emerald Circuit. It's a road race and an asphalt race. It's really cool, and we've picked it because it straddles two of our biomes. So right now we are in the living desert, where you see all these awesome cactuses and rocky formations. And then as we come around this next corner, we kind of cross over into another biome, which is the rocky coast. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, so the rocky coast, we actually caught a little snippet of that at the very beginning of the trailer. That awesome rock arts that we have, we've taken from Kavos and Lucas.
It's ours now.
It's ours. So there's a ton more of that coast to go and explore, and there's also all these amazing luxurious resorts because we wanted to give the game another holiday destination. And there's golf courses. There's all these nice luxury chalets to go and explore and totally trash the gardens.
Make a nuisance of yourself. And we did see just a second ago as well, that volcano you mentioned as well was looming in the distance.
Yeah, I guess that gives you a sense of scale about where we are on the map versus that and how far away. Obviously, it took us quite a while to drive up the volcano, and we started from halfway up. So that might give you a sense of scale of how big the world is.
So what else is going on around this part of the map then? What else are we looking at?
So one this side, the rocky coast, is pretty much we've got two coasts. We've got the tropical coast on the east and the rocky coast on the west. And it's actually amazing how different they can look. So they've got different types. They've even got different types of palm trees. They've got lots of different types of foliage. The water's even different. So on the tropical coast, you get all the more emeraldy, white sandier beaches, and on the rockier coast, the water's a little bit more turbulent. It's a different sea. It's a different colour. The beaches are slightly different, and as the name implies, there's all this great geology to go and drive around and race around in.
That's a cheeky little corner there. Are we going to see Andy win this, by the way?
He is well practiced, so I think he is in with a shot.
Yeah.
Keen-eyed viewers may have noticed as you went through the start gantry, it says Horizon Apex on the gantry there. That Horizon Apex is one of the festivals that you can open as you're playing through the campaign, and it's a festival that's all about road racing, asphalt racing, high-performance cars on really nice tarmac like this. So, and that's just one of those festivals you'll be able to open as you're playing. So, really, really cool. And if you're into road racing, then that'll be the place for you to go and hang out.
Congratulations.
So good, before
Andy won,
you made that look easy.
You have to rest assured that he did in fact win that race.
He's done a little celebratory fist bump.
Wow, very good, Andy. Well done. Now it's my turn to grill you all based on chat. Are we all ready to take some Q&A questions?
Of course, my favourite part of the show.
Perfect. Love that energy. Okay, we're going to start with Jack Anthony Cross, who asks, what was the biggest graphical challenge compared to Forza Horizon 4?
That might be my brother, actually. So, hello.
Is that your brother?
I think that is.
If it's not, that's really wow.
Well, hey, man. What can you repeat the question? I was there going.
You're fully distracted by the fact your brother was in chat. Yeah. Okay, the question was, what was the biggest graphical challenge compared to the last game?
So we've, really overhauled the visuals. We've got, a exciting new set of hardware to play around with now. So it's all about upscaling that and making sure that everything is as real as possible. So, we're looking at, as we saw, a lot more sky data, a lot higher resolution textures, a lot more, photography of scanning everything to make sure that everything is exactly how it needs to be. Making sure that, the ray tracing in Forza Vista looks really good. Which obviously it does because it's ray tracing, just all up. We've made the map bigger as well, so fitting in more biomes, way more places to explore, and then also the challenge of actually being on a volcano and actually looking out at everything, so you can see everything. So there's a little technical challenge. So the wizards the technical wizards at PG have really, nailed it with that one.
Yeah, you don't really get to hide anything when you're on top of a mountain. You can see the entire map. That is a real challenge. But I think for everything you just said there, it's consistency that's a challenging thing. As soon as you make lighting photorealistic, well, now your VFX needs to be photorealistic, and your environment needs to be photorealistic, and it is that the challenge is that everything needs to level up, which. Yeah, so there isn't one thing. There is merely everything.
Set yourself a new, incredibly high standard, essentially, and you've got to meet it. And, speaking on behalf of everyone, I think you have. The next question, though, I know you mentioned it very slightly there, and you must have known this question was coming at some point, but Forza Horizon World wants to know, when do we get a look at the full map?
That is... Is it the next show? Is it 2 weeks?
Sometime.
I'm looking at a producer off cam. I believe it's 2 weeks' time on the next show. I think we're going to show the biomes and then show the map. If I'm wrong, then we'll tweet to correct later. But I believe that's the case.
So pretty soon, fingers crossed, the next show, 2 weeks. Everyone, set your timers.
Is that correct?
Okay.
We think so.
Yeah.
There you go. Cast iron guarantee.
Okay, Okay, next question comes from Nathan15905. Asks, will every car have a V8 and V12 option to keep those kids happy?
No, I think is the answer to that one, unfortunately. Where it is appropriate, you'd be able to slam a V8 and a V12 in it, but not every car can have the complete upgrade path where sometimes it is appropriate, sometimes a V8 simply would not realistically fit inside a particular chassis, and so we don't allow you to do it.
Yep, that sounds fair enough. Okay, Kai asks, I've noticed the chat button is renamed to Link. Would that be that AI feature that was talked about earlier? Good spot, by the way.
Good spot. Yes, that's right. So Link, as we talked about at E3, it's your little AI assistant that makes it that much easier for you to talk to other people that you meet online. You actually still use that for those kind of pre-canned quick chat phrases that you used in the previous game, but also it offers up those intelligent phrases that are based on the status of you and the people that you meet online.
Wonderful. Okay. Next question comes from Kodal, who asks, are the seasons going to switch on a weekly basis again, like Horizon 4?
Yes.
Oh. That was coordinated as well. I like that. Okay, perfect. Last question then comes from Oliver O Vlogs. I'm worried there won't be enough road. Will the map just be a lot of off-roading, or will it be balanced?
I mean, there is an absolute ton of road, more than we've ever done. If that answers your question.
Okay.
Do you know? I just want to say, my brother's name is Oliver. So when you said Oliver Burth, then
family edition.
We got the whole family in chat today.
And I've actually completely missed the question because I was distracted by that.
Is there enough road?
Is there enough road?
Honestly,
there is.
Not.
Yes. The map is 50% bigger. The amount of road has scaled up proportionally. If you're looking for asphalt road, I think we've just shown a ton. But the split between asphalt and dirt is similar to what you've seen in previous games, but now there is more of both.
Perfect. Okay, I think that's great. If any of you didn't have your question answered today, you'll have to come back in 2 weeks' time, where we may have just teased there'll be another show coming, so get yourself ready for then. But that is everything we do have time for today. So thanks for all of you in chat for being as inquisitive as you always are. And thank you, Mike, Connor, and our behind-the-scenes driver, Andy Brannacow. I've done it. I practiced this as well. Baranowski. There you go. I'm sorry, my darling. You'll have to be on cam next time to shout at me. For guiding us through Mexico today. And once again, stay tuned to Forza Horizon's social channels for more Forza Horizon 5 news and biome reveals. We'll have more biome previews for you on the next Let's Go stream in August, when we'll only be 3 months away, chat. 3 months away from the release of Forza Horizon 5 on November 9th, and you can play it day one on Xbox Game Pass. Thanks again, everyone, for tuning in today. Adios.
what you want right now.
Ooh, let everybody talk right now. Tell me what you want right now. You could get it.
Yeah, well you can get it. Yeah, yeah, you can get it. Tell me what you want and I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm not giving up, come on, we got nothing left to lose. I've been from the start, you know I'm not going anywhere. I don't give a, tell me what you want, you can get it. Yeah, well you can get it. Yeah, yeah, you can get it.
You could get it.
You can get it.
Play it day one with Xbox Game Pass.